Of course, the predictions are that this is going to be a walk in the park for you. Are you taking that for granted and moving on? Or?
Oh, look, polls come in and out every day, but they're just polls. They're a snapshot of what people are thinking at that given time, at that given moment. Traditionally, polls get closer to the election, but the only poll that counts obviously is the one on election day. Mm-hmm. We don't take anything for granted, and quite frankly, any member of parliament or any prospective member of parliament that takes things for granted, they don't deserve to be there. So that's why we're working. We've got the campaign up and running 62 days out, and from this point forward, it's full steam ahead.
Mm-hmm. Well, last time you guys managed to pull defeat out of the jaws of victory. Is that going to happen, or what's the strategy this time?
Well, smart political parties, and we've got a smart team here. They learn from the lessons of the past, and there were lessons, and we have learnt from those. And as a result, you're going to find a far more enthusiastic, far hungrier team. Barry's got a great team around him, and Mark Neam's the director of the campaign, and we've been planning this for many months now. Mm-hmm. And we're getting the messages out slowly but surely. The messages are coming out. And I think we have learnt from the lessons of the past. Mm-hmm.
Should you come to power after this March election, what would be your priorities?
Barry's already said that the priority for him is infrastructure. He wants to be known as the infrastructure premier. Mm-hmm. Because for 16 years we haven't really seen much infrastructure or wise investment of infrastructure in this state, the most populous state in this country. The greatest city in this country, if not the world. And he wants to be known for infrastructure, and he's already got a plan to make that the inner coil of his government if he gets elected.
Well, some of the issues that have been discussed in the past, like transport, for example, policing, schools. What's your blueprint to fix all those problems related to that infrastructure?
All right. Well, in relation to infrastructure, we've already announced a policy, and it's called Infrastructure New South Wales. Mm-hmm. Now, basically, Infrastructure New South Wales is going to be an independent panel of experts that decide where our infrastructure needs are. Very similar to Infrastructure Australia, and they've got a similar body down in Victoria, which has worked, we've all seen how far in advance Victoria's gone in the last 10 years. And that body will basically say, look, here is the map of New South Wales. This is where we need infrastructure, in this area, in this area, in this area. And they look at the map of New South Wales not based on political boundaries, because this helps a Labor candidate, this helps a Liberal candidate, but they look at the New South Wales boundaries on the basis that this helps the state. Mm-hmm. So in the past, governments would pork barrel. They'd say, we need to win this seat, and we saw that in the last federal election. We need to win this seat, therefore we'll put money into the Epping to Chatswood line. There was no feasibility study done, or no updated feasibility study, and everybody saw it for what it was. Mm-hmm. It was just a whole lot of spin, a whole lot of hype. It was a crock, quite frankly. Mm-hmm. And people saw through that, and that was reflected in the Bennelong results. Infrastructure New South Wales won't do that. They will simply advise a Barry O'Farrell government, if we get elected, these are our priorities, and we will take that advice. We will fund that through a mechanism, through several means, but this is part of our policy as well, and it's called Restart New South Wales. Now, Restart New South Wales is going to get a whole lot of money from three main sources. Firstly, Waratah bonds. There's plenty of superannuation funds, there's plenty of mums and dad investors that want to invest in the future of our state, in the future of their mums and dads, in the future of their sons and daughters. They can do that through the acquisition of Waratah bonds. So that's the first thing. The second thing is any additional money, any surplus money that we get into the budget will go to infrastructure. Mm-hmm. A third for metropolitan Sydney, and another third, sorry, 2/3 for metropolitan Sydney, and a third for rural New South Wales, because we don't want rural New South Wales being left out. So any additional funds we get, that is a third, will go to the major cities outside Newcastle, Wollongong and Sydney. Mm-hmm. And then finally, we've announced that we will have a long-term lease on the desal plant, and that should get us about 1.5 billion in gross. Mm-hmm. So right there, we've got a serious amount of money that we can start using, and we're prepared to borrow up to the cap of the AAA. and there's still plenty that we can borrow. So we're not scared to borrow money, provided that when we borrow money, we use it for infrastructure and we don't waste it. And that applies across the board. You mentioned schools. Again, we are a party, and hopefully, if we get that chance, we will be a government where we give power back to the people. You know, people make decisions for their communities, which are generally in the best interest of the communities. They know their community better than somebody in Macquarie Street. So we would give a lot more power to the local schools. Same with hospitals. We'd have local hospital boards. These are the things that we will do. This is, core to our policy platform.
Victor, what do you think of this? Lot is being heard about this power asset sale, and even the Premier called an early recess to the Parliament. What do you think of that issue?
I think regardless of whether you're Liberal, Labor, Green, Black, Blue or Purple Party, any party that shuts down Parliament, shuts down democracy for the purposes of avoiding scrutiny should be punished. This is an attack on our democracy. It's one of the most disgraceful things I've seen, and it's the thing that I've heard most about in the community of late. It's one thing to be incompetent, like losing $500 million on the CBD Metro. That's just sheer incompetence. You get rid of a government just for that alone. But when you shut down democracy to avoid scrutiny, that is bordering on something far beyond incompetence, and that deserves the full anger of the community come 60 days' time.
Well, Sydney, of course, is seen, or we know that Sydney is a world-class city, and many of the political analysts say that it has lost the gloss in the last 10 years because of lack of infrastructure and lack of various other amenities, utilities and so on. What's your plan to bring Sydney back to its old glory?
There's a great saying, Raj, that a new broom sweeps clean. If we get that opportunity to form government on the 27th of March, effectively, then we will have that new broom. And we will create that energy and that level of excitement and enthusiasm and hope that people need after 16 years of this government. And already people you can feel a sense of excitement out there in the community that change is coming. We're not taking it for granted. There's still a lot of hard work ahead of us, but people are champing at the bit to voice their opinion, as it were, on the 26th of March.
Talking about the hard work, the heartland of Labor, which is western part of Sydney, what's your strategy to gain those marginal seats?
Simple strategy, hard work, and we saw that in Penrith. Penrith is a heartland Labor seat, and I was helping out there in the campaign. That is a seat that you'd never think in a million years would swing at the rate of 25.5%. Sure, we might reduce a margin there, but to get a swing of 25.5% is unheard of. We did that through hard work. We were up there every day, door knocking, telling people about our policies like I've discussed with you today. Like it's on the website, barrierfarrell.com.au, go and have a look at the website, and I encourage your viewers to do the same. All of our policies are there, and that's how we do it, just through sheer hard work and honesty. I think people can see that we have a sense of integrity about us and a sense of purpose, and we do want to right the ship.
Victor, congratulations and on your campaign launch, and all the very best for the March election.
Thank you very much, Raj. Cheers.